episode of ohmTown on Twitch. I am Mayor Watt, and I'm the mayor of ohmTown. And that's that site right there. Up there at the top is the name. Stop by. Feel free to click around, check it all out. So what is ohmTown? ohmTown is a news aggregation site. First built so that I could consume as much news as I wanted in very specific topics without having to hunt around. And showed it to a couple of people, and they thought that it was interesting and that I should make it public. So I made it public. Took some time. Things happen. But all of the news that I aggregate gets thrown into 6 categories: create, news, education, entertainment, social, and technology. Within those 6 main categories are a whole lot of groups that have discussion boards. Each one of the headlines that gets aggregated creates a discussion board topic. And there you can vote it up, vote it down, add a comment. Down here, I even use Giphy, and I've been trying to get Twitch integrated. Not so much, not working so well. There's a Discord channel, there's a YouTube channel, but I'm mostly here on Twitch. I'm getting ready to move everything, all of the older material, over to YouTube still, but it's taking a bit of work because I want to do it right. And who knows if I'm going to do it right. I guess you'll be able to tell me once you see everything posted. And if it's all wonky, then so be it. I will correct it and live and learn. But like every day since the start of this year, I go through a sampling of news that's been aggregated. Every time you click on ohmTown's name right there at the top left corner of the site, it'll refresh and you'll get some more news. But I've already taken the time to grab 20 interesting headlines. At least I thought that they were interesting. But no matter what I do, every time, 15 minutes goes by and there's new news, again, it's always within a certain context. So it's not complete chaos. It's managed chaos. That said, here are today's headlines that I've selected. Again, with all of these categories and the groups that are within them, if you are interested in hosting or co-hosting a show with me and you are interested in the material and passionate about it and engaging, get in touch with me and let's see what we can do. I need a co-host or a host. I tend to prefer a co-host so that we can kind of riff off of each other's comments. But I haven't gone around really screaming that I need co-hosts other than here on Twitch. So lots of news, lots of groups. I'm trying to get to 50 hours of show a week. So let me know if you're interested. Anyway, on with the show. The first headline that I've selected is within the Smack Talk group, where we talk about Apple and competitors within the context of Apple. Factory contamination ruins 6.5 million terabytes of flash storage, and prices may rise. So this is an Apple Insider article written by Wesley Hilliard. Apparently this happened at Western Digital and Kioxia Corporation. Reduced production at 2 plants in Japan after contaminated materials were discovered, and this could lead to further... Pardon me, I'm going to have to pause this video that's about to play. This could lead to further price inflation and delays in consumer electronics. So that's quite a big amount. I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm sorry if you're watching this and I'm flipping back and forth. Things are a little haphazard here. Everything's under construction. Now I will get a handle on just random scrolling, if it even matters to you. Yeah, I guess we watch games periodically throughout the day, so maybe we're used to just random scrolling. Anyway, so let's see. What does it say? Western Digital reports an expected reduction in its supply by about 6.5 exabytes, or 6.5 million terabytes. Wow. A Wells Fargo analyst says when combined with Kioxia's loss of production, the number would be about 16 exabytes. That's rough. Anyway, go over to Apple Insider and read the rest for yourself, and then come back and talk to me about it. How is this going to impact you? Is it going to impact you? Are we even going to realize that this is what's causing an increase in prices when inflation in the United States, at least, is up 7.5%? I don't know about you, but I didn't get a 7.5% cost of living increase. So I think we're all losing money when we don't get a raise each year. So really, what's the point of inflation and not having a cost of living increase? I mean, if everything is at 3%, why is anything shifting away if everybody is supposed to move up in unison? That's not really how it works, right? We end up, those who don't get a raise fall further behind, and those who do get a raise are probably not really being impacted by a 3% increase, maybe a 7.5% increase. But in the cost of living, if everybody moves at the same pace, why move at all? That's kind of not how it works, though. Okay, so this next article is in the Mobile Group. Scientists unveil most accurate virtual representation of the universe. I'm going to click this link here, and it takes us over to phys.org, and the Royal Astronomical Society is the author of this. I'm not sure if there's a person somewhere mentioned in this, but scientists have produced the largest and most accurate virtual representation of the universe to date. Well, that's pretty awesome. And I've always loved these. I'm going to click on the link. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to click on the link to show this. So this is really cool. There's different areas, and the material within it is given a name, right? So this is the local environment, which makes me think of the comedy skit about the front of the boat falling off and it was towed outside the environment. Anyway, so there's all of these areas that basically are stars that illuminate various areas of what amounts to the universe. And then there's these dark areas where there's nothing in it, or it's so subtle that we can't see it in comparison to the bright. But there are so many stars out there with worlds around them, or not, but we know that there are worlds around many of these stars. But it's fascinating to see this, and with ever increasing technology and greater fidelity, the ability to actually see these stars and the planets that are going around them is going to be amazing over the next 20 years. I hope that we get better and better technology out, but I'm going to have to keep on moving on. I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of this. The simulation covers a volume up to a distance of 600 million light years from Earth and is represented by over 130 billion simulated particles, requiring many thousands of computers working in tandem. That's pretty cool. So go over to phys.org, read more about it. I just want to pique your curiosity and then send you on your way over there. What I'm going to end up doing is posting the links to from ohmTown. You'll be from the podcast, from the YouTube channel, from Twitch. I'll be posting the actual URLs over to ohmTown so that you can make comments and let me know if you've seen the material, and then you can come back and talk to me about it. In fact, this is the first article. And this is the second article. And here we are on the third article. In the group, The Word in Tech, Tesla recalls 579,000 cars and SUV over boombox safety violations. Regulator sound alarm over function that can play sounds over external speaker and obscure warnings for pedestrians. So they're recalling the 579,000 vehicles. So I'll click this link here and it'll take us to The Guardian. Regulator sound alarm over function that can play sounds over external speaker and obscure warnings for pedestrians. Electric vehicles are very quiet. And so there have been talks about adding a fake motorized sound to cars, electric cars, so that they do stand out. But I'm not sure about play sounds over external speaker. Pedestrian warning. The boombox functionality allows the customer to play preset or custom sounds through the pedestrian warning system external speaker when the vehicle is parked or in motion. While the boombox and the pedestrian alert sound are mutually exclusive sounds emitted using boombox could be construed to obscure or prevent the BWS from complying with safety standards. This may not be a problem unless somebody has found a way to use it in a way that's not intended. It really should be used as a warning system, not as something to mask a warning system. Probably going to end up having to pull the end user out of that loop. Here's the next article. U.S. inflation hits highest level in 40 years in January as prices rise 7.5% from 2021. So inflation is increasing, and we are going to keep on seeing more and more prices increase, and at an accelerating rate as the Fed changes monetary policy. I've got people telling me all over the place that food is starting to disappear from shelves so that they can store it for however long is necessary to kind of soften the blow of the increase in costs. I'm really curious if you are a subject matter expert in this. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would like to know why there is inflation 2 years after the pandemic, and arguably, and I've already shown in a previous episode that that there's conflicting messaging about the impact currently of the pandemic in many areas of production. Here domestically, we know we're still 1 million plus jobs off from 2019. And that doesn't even account for the needed growth. So where is all this? Where do they think, and they being whoever it is, whatever processes have made inflation increase? Where is the money coming from, and why did it suddenly pop up? The people that I'm talking to are saying that inflation is going to end up back in the late 70s level. And I know that gas for me has already increased pretty dramatically from just a few months ago. So I'm really curious, and I don't want to look at what I see and what I hear from people, which I can pretty much count as a microcosm of awareness, and compare it to the rest of the United States, because it's just not like that. But inflation is increasing. So they say here, inflation has been driven higher by soaring demand and lack of supply caused by COVID pandemic's global impact on trade. I already showed that a lot of stuff is supposedly under control, right? There are no problems, right? I have to look back at one of my 40 now episodes to find where I showed 2 web pages. One from 2020 and one from 2022. Yeah. Where in 2020 they said everything's under control, and in 2022 the world is still collapsing around us. So here's the next article. This is in Stock Marketeers. It's all because this is all about finances and stuff, but Big Spender is the article title. Big Spender, for the ultimate Super Bowl experience, be prepared to spend $100,000, lodging not included. So football fans with big pockets can make an entire weekend of the event, Tiffany's shopping spree included. So we're going to click this link and take a look at this. It's written by Charles Passy. Football fans with deep pockets can make an entire weekend of the event. And it's going to go into greater detail than I'm prepared to walk through here on the show, but let's see if there's something in here. On the 50 Elite offering $100,000. On locations, packages go as high as $100,000 for the ultimate experience, or what it bills as on the 50 Elite offering. That includes a seat on the 50-yard line to watch the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals vie for the Vince Lombardi Trophy, but that's just the start. Are you a mega fan of the NFL? Are you going to spend $100,000? Let's see, what is it here? The on the 50 package doesn't include accommodations, but on location says it can make arrangements. The cost is at least $1,250 a night for a quality room, but that price can go much higher. Well, of course it can. Let's see. Road Trips, another prominent luxury sports travel specialist, says it has one client who purchased a roughly $1.5 million Super Bowl package this year for 20 plus people with a luxury suite for the game. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. The next article. Again, I'm throwing these into the Twitch chat, which is going to be a VOD, but when I transfer stuff over after it expires on Twitch, it's going to be on YouTube, and it will also be a podcast. I'll include all of these in the descriptions there. So Stock Marketeers, economic report, U.S. jobless claims fall for a third straight week. And let me click this so that it's posted. Well, there's the link. I'm going to bounce back here for a second. Initial jobless claims fell by 16,000 to 223,000 in the week ended February 5th, the Labor Department said on Thursday. Well, okay, so this is an article by Greg Robb. Continuing claims are now back to pre-crisis level. But I wonder if they're going to talk about this. Key details. The number of people already collecting job benefits was unchanged at 1.62 million in the week ended January 29th. these so-called continuing claims are now back to pre-crisis levels. But let me see. Oh, that's all there is to this article. But there's a definition here. When somebody stops looking for a job, they're no longer counted as really unemployed. They're just not seeking a job. And they can still obtain claims as far as I understand it. But I'm going to have to look into this a little more because I really think that this just cannot be true. But I don't want to just, go off half cocked and say this is, not true. It just doesn't sound right. So I'll have to go and look into it. So it says economists polled the Wall Street Journal had estimated new claims would inch lower to 230,000. But it says claims has risen at the start of the year, but are now coming down. Economists expect this trend to continue as the Omicron variant's economic impact subsides. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel right based on the last 2 years. But let's continue on. The next article is also in Stock Marketeers. I'll post it there. The article is sourced from MarketWatch, and it says future movers. Oil builds on gains scored after inventory drop. Oil futures rise, building on gains scored a day earlier after data showed an unexpected drop in U.S. crude inventories. So this is written by Myra Seifong and William Watts. And they always change their titles. Now it's U.S. oil prices build on gains scored after inventory drop. Brent ends lower. So they include a lot of metrics in here about the performance of various companies and or their stocks. But when somebody announces that there is a drop in inventories somewhere, that always spikes the market because people know that there's going to be some big purchases, and when the purchase comes, then the inventory is back up and there isn't any margin anymore. It's basically it's that stasis point of pricing unless OPEC cuts production, forcing a demand for what is in inventory. That means that it's going to be tougher. They're going to have to they're going to have to make the gas out of the oil and other products, but it's going to be constrained. And because people want something, the prices go up. It's basic supply and demand. But who knows what's really going to happen because of inflation. Companies domestically, even though they might get a good deal for crude oil, the markup that exists within the United States for the sale of any product is really built out of demand. Even if the supply is the same cost, it's all about that demand. But I want you to go over to MarketWatch and read the rest of this, and then come on back and talk to me about it. The next article is in the Continuity Report channel, and its title is Peacock's Bel Air Fights to Take the TV Throne. If you've never heard of this, Will Smith used to be the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and someone pitched, Morgan Cooper, I think it is. Yeah. Pitched to Will Smith and others this idea of making a grittier Bel Air. Same people, same places, same things, kind of, right? It's their own imagination a re-imaging of it. But now instead of it being a comedy, it's a drama. And not exactly drama either. I think it's like crime drama, I think it is. Anyway, the intro is out there. You'll have to look into it, the trailer for it. It's interesting. I don't know if it will have legs, but good luck. It is a completely divergent alternate universe is what this says. And yeah, I'd say that's very, very true. So this is a RogerEbert.com article written by Brian Tallarico. And you can go over there and read the rest of it. But you might enjoy it because I'm sure that it'll reach back in history and reference the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So at least it has something to hang on to, that nostalgia. This next article is in the Band of Bezel group. And I'll just drop that in the chat. Band of Bezel's about Apple Watches and watches in general, but I originally had the intent to focus on Apple Watch, but not so much because I just find watches in general to be beautiful pieces of engineering. And since I appreciate them, I'm sure others do as well, beyond just the jewelry part of it, because some of these watches are selling for hundreds or millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. I will never buy one of those, but I can appreciate the artistry and the engineering. There we go. So I'm going to click this link and it'll take us over to Hodinkee. There's a picture of the watches. This is an article written by Jack Forster. The heart has its reasons, whereof reason knows nothing. And that's a quote by Pascal. A love letter to watches. And you can go over and read all about it. I thought because we're coming up on Valentine's Day, you might be interested in this. Nobody I know is gifting or getting a watch, so at least not that I know of. But who knows? Nobody has said, hey, I'm going to get somebody a watch. But go over there and read the article, A Love Letter to Watches. I didn't read any of this. I just thought that the headline was interesting, and I knew that we're coming up on a special day, so it has sentences in it like, another question people ask me, and which I sometimes ask myself, is how on earth is it possible to spend your life day in, day out writing about watches? Don't you find the subject too narrow, too irrelevant to the deeper problems of life and the fundamental nature of human character? Why don't you write about culture or science? And they respond how I would respond. The short answer, I think, is that watches are interesting. And sometimes you just can't, you don't want to engage in these deeper things. And so reading about watches is, kind of relaxing. And writing about it probably is too, because you're not stressing about something. The next article is in the Word and Tech group, and I will post that here. A third world may be orbiting around our closest neighboring star. Click the link. It'll take us over to The Verge. And our nearest neighboring star, Proxima Centauri, may be harboring an extensive solar system. Yeah, I think many stars, they're they can't really be called solar systems, I don't think, right? Because Sol is our sun. Anyway, maybe any solar system is anything with a sun is a solar system. I don't know. Now I got to look at that too. My goodness. If I've learned it once, I forgot it. But anyway, located a little more than 4 light years from Earth, Proxima Centauri has long captured the imagination of scientists and sci-fi enthusiasts as a prime place to visit. Well, it having another... Oh, they even have a video of it. It having another planet. We are striving to find planets in the so-called Goldilocks zone where life is hopefully nurtured into existence. Obviously, that Goldilocks zone changes depending on the intensity of the sun that the planets are orbiting around. So the Earth landing where it is just happens to have popped up with life. This is an article written by Lauren Grush. Go over to The Verge and do a search for a third world maybe orbiting around our closest neighboring star, or click the link in chat, or go over to ohmTown and click the link there. Either way, go over to The Verge and read the article. This next article, again, throw it in chat. Hearthstone streamer Alistraza and family cuffed during mid-broadcast swatting. This is something that I talk to people about several times a year because of what I do. And so to see it happen again, I'm going to click the link. It'll take us over to PC Gamer. The stream stayed live as armed police searched the house. The thing about swatting somebody is that law enforcement can't just go, oh, somebody's swatting someone. Because the one time that they don't, something horrible could happen. So they go in and they do what they need to do. And people are, maybe somebody gets hurt, damage is done to property. It definitely can provoke a PTSD response in some people. And so the officers were great and handled everything very well. They obviously had to take the threat seriously as our whole family was cuffed outside. And then after assessing the threat wasn't real, the amount of resources that were diverted here was insane, though. Why do people do this? And that right there is really the problem, because anybody can make that phone call, and there are ways to mask who you are. And it basically takes an act of federal government to pursue this. But people who do this, really, the book should be thrown at them, because this can end up killing people. And if memory serves me correct, people have been killed because of swatting. I believe at least one person has. The next article is in the Bead Baby group. And polymer clay pendant silk screening tutorial, how metallic and crystal components are added. I'm going to click the link here and throw it into chat so that you can go and visit that article on ohmTown. It's just a snippet, and then you click that and you go over to beadinggem.com. And they have these tutorials, and they have a great community, and they talk about it, how to do it. And you get to, there's all kinds of links that take you to additional material. So go and check it out. I won't play the video, but I want to highlight the people that create these products and the website, and go show them that you are interested in this kind of stuff. One of the lines in the article is, she also raves about the tiny pointed swabs from little windows. They are so helpful for crafts of all kinds besides resin jewelry making. And they even give you a code to save some money. So if you're interested in polymer clay, then go and check out this article because it'll help you out because it's a tutorial. The next article is in the Order of the Grape, and this will have a bunch of stuff in it, but here's the link in chat. You can go check it out and then come on back and talk to me. We always go to visit the source. This is an article written by Katie Brown. Yeah, again, they always have these neat images that kind of hint at what is in the article. From layering chic jackets over sundresses to integrating warm weather loungewear into wintry outfits, professional stylists and aspiring fashionistas alike love making summer staples work for cooler weather. Well, they give you a bunch of recipes, sort of ways to bump up your drinks. Fireside French 75S or 75s, French 75s, right? They'll serve you a bubbly drink. A French 75 is a bubbly drink made with champagne, gin, and lemon juice in a flute glass. French 75s are most often made with cognac, but in New Orleans. Interesting. Go and check it out. Winterized margarita, snow day spritzes, an April spritz, sitting out on a veranda. Well. Do you go to these great lengths with your drinks? If you try it once, you might like it. Okay. Let's see, where are we? I'm going to have to start hustling here. The next article is Twitter grows to 217 million daily users in Q4. Income falls, but tops estimates. So I'm going to copy this and click the link. Twitter grows to 217 million daily users in Q4. Income falls 18% amid modest impact from Apple privacy change. The same thing that impacted Facebook to the tune of almost 25%, or $230 billion apparently, is this Apple privacy change, stopping tracking from taking place. I don't really care because I'm more interested in privacy than I am in being tracked everywhere. And if it costs me suddenly $5 a month to use a service like Facebook, just so that I'm not being tracked anymore, so be it. But I put my consumption and my money where my mouth is, and I don't use Facebook. So I wouldn't pay for it anyway. Some people might. You know, I'd rather watch a Twitch streamer and pay them that $5 a month, because I get more entertainment from it. Anyway, Twitter netted 6 million new daily active users in the fourth quarter of 2021, a bit lighter than analysts' forecasts. So there's a lot of machinations. Some people are trading depending on the news alone. Some are closer to the source information, or they're doing a holistic analysis of the entire company and the whole market. You know, people will be trading and making money on this as long as there's publicly traded stock. And you can go over to Variety. This article was written by Todd Spangler. And they go into greater detail, kind of a deep dive into Twitter and its stock performance, adjusted earnings, and so on. Go check it out. The next article is over on Tabletop Knights. It was aggregated from RPGsite.net. Roguevania side-scroller Getsu Fumaden. Undying Moon, now available for Nintendo Switch. Version 1 launches on February 17th for Steam. I don't use the Switch. My son does. I'm a Steam user, along with pretty much every other developer's store. But go and check this out. Konami has announced that Roguevania Getsu Fumaden Undying Moon is now available for Nintendo Switch. And at $35, it's cheaper than what I just bought for my son. So, Pokemon Arceus, yeah. Anyways, originally released in May 2021 as an early access title with several new additions. I won't play the video. I want you to go over and read the article. And definitely, if you are interested in this kind of thing, go over and get it from Steam or from the eShop for Nintendo Switch if you are into the Nintendo Switch. So this is the article there. The next article is Billy Walker creates Lum Reek 10-year-old blended malt. Depending on what you are into drinking, some people don't like scotch. They like something else. I love rum. So this is an article that I believe is on Distillerist. Yep. The article is sourced from thespiritsbusiness.com. So when you click it, it's written by Nicola Carruthers. Glenallachie Distillers Company has expanded its blended malt Scotch brand Lum Reek with the launch of a 10-year-old whiskey. I've actually fallen in love with Tullamore Dew. 12-year-old Tullamore Dew. The DEW is actually the initials for the person who created the whiskey. David, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name. Anyway, DEW, it's D period E period W. But Tullamore is just, it's really nice. And I drink my whiskey on the rocks. So hope you all don't mind. But yeah. Go over to the Spirits Business and you can read more about this. It's got a pretty bottle. Nice packaging, and it's cask strength. So prepare to be hammered in short order. 55.4% ABV. So you'll enjoy it until you can't remember enjoying it. So the next article is chimpanzees rub insects on open wounds. Treating others may not be uniquely human. So can you imagine? We have seen animals act with compassion before. Elephants do it. I've witnessed elephants do it where an elephant is harmed and others show up out of nowhere. I've seen cats do it. I've seen dogs do it. The relationship between humans and our pets seems to imply compassion, empathy even. But this little snippet here, the chimpanzees of the Rakambo community in Gabon, West Africa, never fail to surprise. For a start, they are known to kill and eat tortoises, which set them apart from any other community of chimpanzees. Now they've been seen displaying another unique behavior, one which has never been seen before despite many years of painstaking research. And they basically rub a a bug on the wounds. Fascinating. But we've seen things like this to differing degrees, but apparently never applying medicine. And that's basically what this is. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, humans aren't so far off from our animal beginnings. So this is an article that was written by Alexander Peel and Fiona Stewart. The Conversation is another, I guess, a website. Theconversation.com is where this is sourced from as well. But it was found on phys.org. That's where I aggregated it from. The next article is in Warcrafters, but it's because it was sourced by PC Gamer. And so they had an article about tech, and it's the cheapest 1 terabyte NVMe SSD you can buy. I figured that I would link to that. So go over to PC Gamer. Alan Dexter wrote the article, but you may run out of inventory, but it's inexpensive compared to others. But it's an M.2. It's not just just an SSD as one might think. It's an M.2. So it's going to be pretty speedy and solid state, so you don't have to be too gentle with it. But it's about half the speed of normal M.2s, but I think it's still considerably, well, I don't think, I know it's considerably faster than SATA drives. So go over and get it. And even the 2 terabyte drive at $150 is going to be pretty good. I might have to go and get a couple of these just so that I've got them for my other systems, even though I don't need storage. And the next article is in Prime Glass. Prime Glass is a photography channel within ohmTown. The article is posted in chat. You can click the link and go over there and read it. Diving into the history of digital art. In 1985, Andy Warhol received an Amiga 1000 home computer. By the way, great system. The Amiga line, it's a real shame that it collapsed. But the Amiga line was great. It's been so long since I interacted with the Amiga line, the Amiga 1000 in particular, that I can't really pinpoint everything that was great about it, but it had better graphics and better audio. It had a nice interface, a great interface. And it was pretty robust. It just didn't get traction. And, the polarity of picking a side became between Windows and Apple. And when Apple was about to collapse, nobody ran over to Amiga, but everybody loved Amiga's video, its graphics and its audio. It was really well known for its audio too. And its interface was great. So I really wish that it would have survived, but things would have been even more balkanized than they are right now, with little ecosystems. Android takes a slice, iOS takes a slice. The Mac OS takes a slice, Windows. Linux is still there. It's more on the enterprise side, but yeah. Anyway, you'll have to go over and read this. It's a pretty long article, and it goes into digital art. This could be something that I could throw into the Reality Hacker channel as well, because Reality Hacker is all about manipulating either in VR, AR, or the real world graphics. So you take a picture of something and you manipulate it in a way that makes it hyper realistic. But whatever it is you did is not really in the real world. But digital art is a thing, and I used to produce some digital art. I don't have anything anymore, but it's neat. You know, there's things that you can do with a computer that you just can't do with a paintbrush unless you are skill beyond skill. Doing something like this with a paintbrush would be painstakingly difficult. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that can do it. But probably not even remotely as fast as somebody with a computer. Okay, I'm going to keep on hustling through this. The word in tech, today's word is light. So I had heard about this not too long ago, maybe a couple of days ago. I heard that this was coming out. And sure enough, Elgato's Key Light Mini, which is essentially a battery powered portable light like the one second, there you go, like other Elgato lights, they use these amazingly bright lights. The elements are so bright that my light right there, the one that I just blinded myself with, probably is at 12%. If I were to turn it up all the way, everything behind me would just be bright white, and my background lights would not be in color. It would just be overwhelmed. But these are, let me click the link so at least you can see them instead of me just talking about them. They don't come with a mount. You'll have to buy your own mount, but they can be attached to your camera or to a camera mount because it has a small connector, 1/4 inch tripod, I think. Yeah, so a 1/4 inch mount. You can do whatever you want with this thing, but it's also battery powered and mains powered, so you can plug in an adapter, AC adapter, and it'll run on your desk. That said, I've got a investment here in lights, so I won't be getting these minis, but I might be able to talk myself into it. I really like them, and they're smaller, so it makes my rig a little bit more approachable. But I'm about to mount another monitor, so my radiation burns are going to be increasing, and at $100 a pop, they're about half the price of their other lighting solution. So go over to The Verge. It's an article written by Cameron Faulkner. You'll be able to find out a whole lot more on the site than on ohmTown. The next article is, let me grab the title. Oops, sorry. Let me grab the URL and I'll throw it in chat. And it's in the continuity report channel. And Austin Powers cast reunites for Super Bowl commercial from General Motors. So one of the self-proclaimed greatest villains in history is coming to the Super Bowl. Click the link. It'll take us over to Variety. Brian Steinberg is the author. And apparently Dr. Evil will be in a 60-second spot during the Super Bowl. So go and check it out. Go over to Variety and you can read more about this. But the commercial should be entertaining because it has yeah. Should be a great spot. We'll see. Keep on stopping by here, ohmTown, at 6 p.m., please. And feel free to throw comments in chat. Our last article is going to reference health. So if you're not into that, you can look away or turn everything off. I don't know. So we as humans, we are fallible. We're going to fall apart as we age. And if you think that you have normal blood pressure because it's 120/80, apparently that is no longer the case. The study published in the Journal of Medicine Cardiology found that as systolic blood pressure rose above 90 millimeters, the risk of damage to coronary arteries rose along with it. And that's pretty true. I mean, so systolic is the upper level, it's the high pressure. Diastolic is the low pressure. And when you run or you exercise, both numbers tend to change a little bit, but that higher number can spike tremendously. When you run and you're hitting 130, 140, 150, depending on your health, you can actually have an aneurysm or a stroke or cause damage to blood vessels or your heart because it's pumping so hard and things are constrained somewhere, so it has to drive that blood through your body. So what you need to do, or so I've been told, is my doctor says you got to get healthy, which doesn't really help me much. So my due diligence is you should get aerobic exercise. You should run 30 minutes a day. You should row to get some exercise for your chest and your back and your legs. And you really should do strength training as well. Some lifting some weights, but not too much in the beginning. And you have to condition your heart so that it can take this increase in pressure, this increase in strain. And while you're doing that, it's actually conditioning everything in your body to accept this greater pressure. And so you don't get high pressure because your body is finding stasis so that when you have to pump more blood, everything is working together so that it can pump more blood without causing damage. Now, my words are all layman and maybe lame man, and don't treat it as medical advice, but that's what I'm doing. I am learning to run again within a pace that is good for my age and my health. I'm moving from being sedentary to active again after 2 years of largely working from home and not going out for walks and trying to avoid people and the pandemic altogether. So wish us all luck as we start returning back to the new normal, whatever that is. And with that in mind, I think I'm going to highlight again that ohmTown is operational. It does news aggregation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week into these 6 categories. I won't go through them again, but you can go over to ohmTown and see it for yourself. Sign in, become a citizen of ohmTown. Some functions are disabled right now as I test certain things out, but I do it live. So if you see something get a little weird, then you can always let me know, but it should not be an issue. But when you click on that front page, you always get new headlines. It just flipped really fast. So senators introduce a resolution honoring Tom Brady's career. All right. I think that's enough internet for today. And that's it for the show today too. I think that we're all set, and I hope that you got something out of this. If you did, please follow, particularly on Twitch. Feel free to chat. I really like interacting with people in chat. And if you are interested in being a host or a co-host, let me know. And if you want to do a co-host, then I can put you up there right above me. Actually, probably further up at the top so that alerts can be between us. But we can chat about the news in real time, and it doesn't have to be, it's only 1 hour a day is my intent. I plan on expanding this to be 50 hours a week, but not just me. And when we're not talking about the news or doing a show about something, one of the shows will be, or music will be playing, but I want this channel to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with either a show or a rebroadcast or somebody playing a game or, just hanging out and chatting. It would be great to populate ohmTown. So go and check it out. And again, thank you for coming. If you're in my chat, thank you for watching the VOD. Thank you for following. If you follow, I've only been doing this for 40 days steady, and I'll be here tomorrow. Thanks again. Take care.